If you've ever seen the video of me on that Board Button website or me looking up the dumbest conspiracy theories, then actually, you know what? Forget watching either one of those. Even if you haven't seen them and you have at least 2 brain cells like I do on a good day. And if you've been on the internet just once, then you know that it's such a weird place and it's a force to be reckoned with. Not even in my wildest of fantasies that come to me at night before I sleep can outmatch anything that the internet can offer. Like everything that you can think of, there is something worse on the internet. That's what we know. But we always assume those are things from the dark web. But what about the surface web? We know the surface web has Google, Bing, Yahoo, all those things that nobody really uses except for Google. But what does the surface web have to offer that is weird or creepy? Or the point is, I'm looking at some creepy and weird websites. All right, that's the point here. That's what's going to happen. So to start things off right and set the tone for this entire video, the first one is going to be Plane Crash Info. Okay, so what Plane Crash Info is basically a website where it tells you plane crash info. Why this is so messed up is because it shows you all these just bunch of pictures here of plane crashes and information about all of them, and apparently it's very eerie to people. And yeah, I'm gonna be honest, this is kind of weird how we have an entire database just full of plane crashes that I don't know why you would make a website out of any of this. 100 worst unusual accidents, last words. Oh, we are getting deep. Alright, so I guess we're just gonna go to, oh, they even have famous deaths. Let's go to unusual accidents. Out of all of them, this is probably going to be the least terrifying of all of them, so it's just a whole database. How about this one? American Airlines. I've been on American Airlines. In El Paso, Texas. Okay, never been to El Paso, Texas. As a prank, a captain riding in the jump seat engaged the gust lock in flight. I don't know what any of that means, but that sounds terrible. That sucks. The command pilot, not knowing the gust lock has been engaged, rolled the elevator trim tab with no response. When the jump seat captain disengaged the gust lock, the aircraft went to a steep dive, executed part of an outside roll, and became inverted. Neither the command nor jump seat captain had seatbelts on, and they accidentally feathered number 1, 2, and 4 engines when they hit the controls with their heads. No one realized it at the time, but the feathering reduced power and allowed the co-pilot, who was strapped in, to pull out of the dive 350 feet from the ground. It's actually pretty interesting. But it sucks how it was a prank. Like, that's just, don't mess with planes. Oh, look. The first crash of a commercial jet airliner in aviation history happened in Karachi, Pakistan. Canadian Pacific Airlines, other words and different thing, Comet, happened on March 3rd, 1953. That's interesting. That was the first one. Oh yeah, by the way, that prank one, that was 1947. Apparently nowadays I've heard that a pilot can safely land a plane with only one engine. So if one gets destroyed, then they can use the other one to safely land. So that's comforting. Accident photos. Oh, I could tell this is a bad idea. Alright, let's go to recent. Alright, the most recent one on this list was back in 2019. And it happened in Ethiopia. The pilot sent out a distress call and was given clearance to return to the airport. The crash site, some 31 miles southeast of the airport, contained a smoky crater with small pieces of wreckage. The accident may have been related to a software error on the MAX 8. I mean, that must have been an insane software error. I mean, look at this. Look at that carnage. That's insane. Okay, so the next website I've actually heard of before, it's called Staggering Beauty. First off, this one has like, you know those flashing epilepsy lights? Yeah, that's what this has. So if you have epilepsy, or if you are affected in some way by those lights, then just skip this one. Don't watch it, trust me. And if you don't know if you even have epilepsy, then look at this. Hey, welcome back. Guess you don't have epilepsy. Going straight into it here, it's just this little worm. Shake vigorously. Okay. Oh! Keep going. We're not done. What a ride. I really don't see the point in this. Like, I used to have a website, like, I think it was 2 years ago. I would just write a bunch of movie reviews and just a bunch of things relating to movies on it. So I know that making a website and keeping a domain is quite, it takes some effort. But why would you waste it on this? Alright, so the next one is skywaybridge.com, and what this is closer to, it's closer to a suicide prevention thing, but I mean, I guess it's not really prevention, it's just facts about suicide over this place called the Skyway Bridge. It's a bridge in Florida that's above the water, and apparently a bunch of people, it's like a hot spot for suicide. So right here, okay, this is actually pretty creepy now that I think about it. This website tells you all the reported suicides of it. So it is a creepy website, but it's also a very informative website. It's not just a random, oh, look at this, last person that committed suicide was this, they did this for whatever. It's more informative to just tell you what happened. I mean, there's really not much to say about the website. It's just, this is what it is. You can look it up if you want or not. The plane crash one that's pretty interesting. So I'm not, obviously these are both databases, so this one and the plane crash one are both databases that are very large, so I obviously won't go over the entire thing of each website, so you all can just go over and feel free to look at as much as you want of it. Alright, this one's probably one of the most famous of all of these creepy websites, and that is the website Creepypasta. Now, I've actually never been on Creepypasta. Like, knowing the channel I've actually never been to Creepypasta before. This is literally the first time. So, I am actually pretty interested in this, considering all the ads they have, just filled to the brim with ads. Now, what I know about Creepypasta is that it's a website, and there's also stuff on YouTube about it, of basically horror stories. But they're not like, unless they're fan-made really, there's not many, none of them that are actually movies or short films or any of that. It's always just words. And if you go on YouTube and look up Creepypasta stories, it's always somebody talking, just reading it. So maybe there's one that, you know, maybe there's one here that actually is short enough for me to read. Because I know a lot of, like, some of these are, so I've heard some of these are intense. So, is there like a filter? Oh, by length. Okay. Is it by length of how short it is? Estimated reading time 201 minutes? Mans was writing a whole novel up in here. What? Who has 201 minutes to read a creepypasta? Look at all this. That's insane. That's a lot of reading. You know, it's probably good too. It's probably good. Tales from an Ex-Convict. Word count smallest. This is probably not a good idea. Now I have to click on it. Alright, estimated reading time less than 1 minute. Alright. Getting out my narrator voice. So basically just my voice, just monotone. Every time you exhale, okay, wait, maybe I should go a little bit more intense than that. Every time you exhale, a little bit of your soul escapes. Luckily, you almost always inhale it back before anyone else gets to it. Almost. Ever fogged up a mirror with your breath? Don't do that. Wasn't planning on it, but okay. That's it? It's like the 2-sentence horror stories video I made a while ago. I think I'm gonna make a separate video one day of me going through creepypastas. I think I should read some or listen to some. I think that would be so interesting. Like, I feel like these are good. I love horror stories. I love them. Okay, so the next one actually is pretty interesting because it's called World Births and Deaths. At first I didn't know what was scary about this. I thought it was just a population map. Like you can go, there's so many websites of population maps. But apparently, I read the description of this, and apparently what makes it what makes it creepy is apparently that it shows a dot over top of the exact spot of births and deaths. And I guess people think it's creepy how when you die, when somebody in the world dies, there's a dot right over that. Alright, actually, okay, saying it out loud, that is a little weird. I mean, at least there's more births than deaths. Every 2 seconds someone dies. That's actually a lot of deaths you can think about. I hope the next one, you know, doesn't turn out to be somebody I know or even me for that matter. Oh, crap! Okay, so the last one, I chose this one. I chose this one last, Zombo.com, because I don't know what it is. I feel like I've heard of it before. Like something about this picture right here, something is familiar about that to me.
This is ZomboCom. This is ZomboCom, and welcome to you who have come to ZomboCom. Anything is possible at ZomboCom. You can do anything at ZomboCom. The infinite is possible at ZomboCom. The unattainable is unknown at ZomboCom.
I can do anything on Zombo.com apparently. I can't freaking do anything on Zombo.com! That's it, I can't do anything on Zombo.com. Can I really not do... I can't do anything on Zombo.com. What is this? Can I push it? I can't do anything! Put enter. I can't do anything on Zombo.com. So after some research on what Zombo.com actually is, it turns out there really isn't anything you can do on it. I mean, unless there's something that's super secret and hidden, this is it. It's just that weird elevator music and with that guy saying Zombo.com. I guess that's it. Those are some of the weirdest websites, I guess. I'm thinking of a part 2 at some point, coming out with a new video soon, and I'm out.